this is Boricua Binks, and welcome back to Let's Play the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. Oh, we are continuing on in the 5th case of the game, The Adventure of the Unspeakable Story. And we'll be continuing on from the middle of a Dance of Deduction. We did the first half last time, so now we're going to do the second half. And I look forward to seeing Mr. Benedict break down. I'm trying to figure out who he is then. I mean, maybe he's not like a Sherlock Holmes character like I thought. I thought he was Professor Moriarty, but with the initials AG, now I'm like, oh, I guess not. Now, Mr. Benedict, let us continue. For we must expose the details of this elaborate crime you have in the planning. This is utterly absurd. You suggest that I, a gentleman, designed a wheeze to filch some tawdry article of pawnage. A wheeze? I've never heard that used that way. Does he mean like a ruse? Huh. Have you forgotten that I redeemed the article in the proper manner, using the watchword? He has a point. Had I not been the one to deposit it in the first place, how could I possibly have known the relevant details? Ne sais pas. I think that's how it's pronounced. I don't know. So okay, I'm gonna tell you guys what I'm thinking. What this is. I suspect that Mr. McGilded paid Gina to help corroborate his lie and cover up the murder that he committed in that other case. So that's why Gina, he must have given her, he said, I deposited a jacket at this pawn shop, and inside of it there are some discs that are very valuable, because she was very upset when he didn't want to pay her a lot of money for it, and she's like, well, you know, he told me that it'd be worth a lot. You know, that's kind of what she was saying. So that was her payment. And now I'm thinking he also backstabbed her with this guy for some reason, and that this guy, he told him the watchword, and you know, he described Gina, you know, he wrote everything, he said you have to get it before this date, you know, blah blah blah, because Mr. McGilded was shady as hell, and the fact that he died the way he did was super mysterious. So it might even be that this guy killed McGilded, that they were co-conspirators or whatever, and he wanted to silence him, even though McGilded got off, you know, as not guilty. There must be some bigger cover-up or bigger thing going on, because we still don't know why McGilded killed that guy, who was in the coach with him. So yeah, I'm very sure now we're going to get some answers in regards to that case, because there was a lot of things left unanswered before. Oh, but the watchword can't be discovered, as you are only too well aware, Mr. Benedict. Oh, and your furtive glance is more telling than I could have hoped. Unless, oh, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he's just saying that he must have at some point come in here and looked at the logbook and then figured out, based on the description of the item and the date that it was due, he saw the watchword. Oh, okay. But still, the fact that he had the description of Gina, I still feel like maybe my initial suspicion might be correct in a way, you know? What? Let us consider how one might come to learn a secret watchword relating to the pawned property of another. The method is revealed by the council notice on the counter. No, that doesn't make any sense. The direction of the deduction must change rather dramatically now, I think.
Yes, no more talk of tunneling into the sewers. Which is a pity, because it all sounded rather exciting.
Oh my gosh, Rinosuke, you're funny. I mean, he has a point. It was an interesting theory, and it would have been really dramatic, you know?
Anyway, we can't deny that this mysterious gentleman did know the watchword.
Yes, Professor. If you didn't know that word, Mr. Windibank would never allow you to redeem the article. So, my guess about him being Professor Moriarty may be wrong, but maybe Professor Moriarty is the one pulling the strings behind everything, just like he does in a lot of the other Sherlock Holmes stories. Like, he might not be directly involved in the case, but behind the shadows, he's there, orchestrating everything.
Or, looking at it another way, if you did know that word, Mr. Windibank would allow you to redeem the article whether it was yours or not. So the question is...
There goes the dogs barking. The one next door, and then Kiki. Every time I record. Why? Whatever.
So the question is, could this gentleman have found the watchword out somehow?
Okay. So, I mean... Old lamp. Oh, is it reflected in the lamp? And that's how he can see it? Or... No. I mean, there's a lot of things here that I'm wondering if we can look at them. There must be a reason. I'm just looking around. Oh, there's a doll here. Okay. And a creepy skull. Alright, just looking around. Pawnbroker's revolver. Okay, there's a door. I just want to look at all these things. So, notelet.
Look at this, Mr. Sato.
Ah, it appears to be a memo that Mr. Windibank has scribbled to himself.
Let's see, what does it say? Oh, Professor.
That's a lot of scribbles, though.
Mr. Windibank must make a note of the watchwords his customers give him right before their eyes. And an alarmingly clear script as well.
Oh dear, I don't know where to look. Who knows what other secrets I might see? I mean, even if that's there, there's no telling that it's connected, you know? Let's look at the pawnbroker's revolver.
This is Mr. Windibank's gun.
Yes, loaded with only one bullet, he said. It would appear that being a pawnbroker is a very life-or-death profession.
That might just be this particular establishment.
Okay. And what about his big book? I thought it was in this big book. I thought that's where he kept all his notes. Huh. We could look at the council notice, even though we know that's not it. Baker Street Works is the title.
Yes, and it does mention sewerage works, as Mr. Holmes said. Oh, and specifically mentions that tonight's sale at the confectionery shop on the corner won't be affected.
Case solving first, confectionery later, Mr. Naruhodo.
Ah, curse my overly expressive face.
You gave away that you want some sweets. Alright, let's look at this old lamp. Maybe that's it.
This looks to be quite an old lamp.
But it's obviously been well looked after. And there's oil in it too.
In other words, it's still in use.
Yes, it would appear so. But as for how it could be related to Mr. Benedict knowing the watchword for the pawned article, I have no idea.
That makes two of us.
Okay, so that's not important. I thought they were gonna say reflected something, but I mean, it's obviously this notelet, but I don't know. I'm kind of lost here because of that. Because it's like, even if he writes them here, did he write the details? Or did he just write the word? I don't know. That's weird to me. I have a feeling it's gonna be the notelet. So I'm gonna present that. But I could be wrong, because this... I don't know why in this section of the game, whenever we get to these dances of deductions, this is where I feel like the most confused. But that's actually kind of good, because it means that I'm, you know, trying to figure things out the way that a real detective would. So let's present this.
Take that!
Oh, that was right. I need them to explain this more.
The method is revealed by the notelet on the counter to which your eyes were inadvertently drawn.
Yes, the broker here follows the same procedure whenever a customer comes to redeem an article. He asks the customer for the watchword and notes down the response uttered on a notelet he has to hand. Then he consults his ledger and confirms whether or not the watchword matches that of the article in question. I would expect... Oh, I almost gave him the wrong accent. I would expect nothing less of a diligent pawnbroker.
But his diligence clearly has its disadvantages.
What are you talking about? It is increasingly apparent that you were present in this shop before your accusation against Miss Lestrade.
In all likelihood, you followed her inside and then observed her talking to Mr. Windibank.
When the diligent broker made a note of the watchword, as is his common practice,
you observed him writing the word professor on the notelet beside the ledger.
That's what they're saying? But that kind of ruins my theory then. I don't know. I don't know if I 100% agree with this. I mean, yeah, he could have done it that way, but I still don't think Gina was the one who submitted the stuff. I still think it was Mr. McGill did. I don't know. We'll see. But that was way too easy. So anybody standing behind another person in line could easily just happen to be there and see the whole process and see and figure out somebody else's watchword. That's really dumb. And that, sir, was the master plan you devised to steal the pawned article from the young Miss Lestrade. Master plan! Him and his dramatic spin. Which brings us at last to the final chapter of this lurid scheme. Why would you go to such lengths to redeem that particular article from this pawnbroker? Are you quite serious? For an ill-fitting overcoat hardly seems to justify the effort, much less a worthless music box disc. But naturally, you had very good reason to make them yours, didn't you, Mr. Benedict? I have no idea what you're talking about. Allow me to present a rather interesting piece of evidence. Is this something new? Oh no, that thing again. Picture postcard.
The articles we're talking about are the overcoat and the music box disc that was in one of the pockets.
Which, according to Mr. Windibank, isn't even worth a penny.
And yet this man went to such lengths to steal them. Why?
I wonder if perhaps we already have the evidence we need to explain it, Mr. Naruhodo. Let me look at my evidence before we continue. No, wrong button. Where's my evidence? Oh, it's not here yet. Hold on.
Could we? Really? I'd better have a thorough look through all the evidence we've collected so far.
That's what I want to look. Okay, now I can. That's all we have? I thought we had more. So, The disc. I have not thoroughly looked at the disc yet. I mean, I see the bumps on it and the blood, which just happened.
Look at all the little bumps on the disc. They're so tiny.
Yes, the protrusions are called pins, and they pluck the teeth of the comb to make notes. And just on the edge, there's a small amount of blood.
Yes, the blood of the mysterious Mr. Benedict.
When Miss Lestrade tried to grab the disc from him, the pin scratched his fingers, it seems. Like when you're grating some daikon radish and accidentally catch your finger.
Ouch. Just thinking about it hurts. Puts me off eating radish.
So what I want to do... okay. What is this? Oh, yes! Oh, I was right! See? Mr. McGilded. I told you guys, I am so smart. I should be a freaking crime writer or something. Oh, there's a little scrap of paper stuck onto the reverse side of the disc. Look. And a scribbled word or two. It looks like somebody's name. Uh-oh. For McGilded.
But McGilded? It couldn't be.
But it is, Mr. Naruhodo. A name I shall never forget for as long as I live.
But why? Why is his name on this?
Here we go. This is it. Oh, I'm so excited. I can't wait to be proven right. And I want to hear the rest of this whole, like, mystery of how him and Mr. Benedict are connected. Okay, let's go back. Huh. So let's present that then.
Take that!
You see, this music box disc tells us all we need to know.
What's that on the back? It reads for McGilded. Ugh. Yeah, you shady. You shady. I knew you were bad. I knew he was bad right away. Didn't I say it? Even though we were defending him, I was like, no, this man is shady. I don't trust him.
Mr. Magnus McGilded. The unfortunate philanthropist who perished in curious circumstances at the Old Bailey 2 months ago. A prominent man in London, though his lone mongering demonstrated a distinct lack of scruples. So, you're an associate of his, are you? Or perhaps a subordinate? I gotta say, even though he has his moments where he kind of freaks out, he's been overall pretty calm while we're figuring all of this out. So, I don't know if he's gonna, like, escape. Like, if he has a backup plan or something, you know? Or maybe he'll pull out a gun or something. Mr. McGilded was a man of unusually small stature.
In fact, that coat probably fit him.
He was precisely the right size for that overcoat that you've squeezed yourself into.
Ugh. Your true identity remains shrouded in mystery, Mr. Benedict. But the final conclusion here is crystal clear. The reason you came to this pawnbrokery today
was to retrieve an article left behind by the late Magnus McGilded.
Gotcha.
Ugh.
No! Dramatic spin. Got him. Great crime to acquire an item deposited by Mr. McGilded. Oh, I feel good. I feel good that I figured this out. Deduction complete. Elementary. Well, well, Mr. Magnus McGilded.
Not a name I expected to hear in these circumstances.
Mr. Holmes, I'm afraid there's something very troubling on my mind.
Pray tell, Miss Susato.
Well, according to what Mr. Windibank told us earlier, today was the final day on which the coat could have been redeemed, was it not?
Yes, Mum, that is correct. Today would be precisely 2 months since it was first deposited. Well, today's April 15th, so 2 months ago today. Would have been 15th of February, sir, that's right. It's all carefully recorded in my ledger. Deposited at 10:30 p.m., I see.
Right before the murder, right?
What? But that suggests...
Yes, February 15th.
Is precisely the day on which the omnibus murder took place.
Omnibus, that was the word I was thinking of earlier. I said coach, because it's kind of like a coach. But that was the word that they used. And 10:30 in the evening is precisely the time at which the terrible events were unfolding. Oh. Wait. Huh. Now I'm thrown off even more, because if it happened at the exact time that the murder happened, then that means McGilded could not have been the one to deposit this. So there's somebody else involved?
Suggestive is not the word. It would seem the matter is entirely beyond coincidence. You are, of course, at liberty to make whatever outlandish deductions you choose. However...
Oh, I knew it! You frickin' pull out a gun! Oh my god, you guys. Am I psychic? Or did I seriously write this myself? Oh, I knew he had a gun. How did I know? I said he was way too calm despite all the spinning. Oh. Y'all are predictable. Y'all are so predictable.
I must insist you hand over the music box disc now. It would be a terrible shame for you to return to your native land in a box. What do I do?
Hand over the disc? No. What if I say no and I just get shot? Bad ending. That would be kind of crazy.
There are some things a man must protect at all costs. This may well be one of those things. And again, it may not.
Oh, yeah, he has a gun. Yeah.
Hold it. Mr. Windibank. This is my shop. I can't allow any harm to come to my customers. If that were to happen, I should have to take my own life, sir.
Sir, do not point the gun at yourself. Point it at that dude.
Mr. Windibank, no, what are you doing?
Oh, you're so stupid. Sir, come on now. You're supposed to be helping us. Oh, who's this? Alright, that's enough. Gina or Sherlock? Oh! Where'd you guys come from? Hey, we got saved by the popo.
Inspector Gregson. Inspector?
Dang, they just burst in. Yay, perfect timing. Did Sherlock know? Did he do something? How did he... It's not like he had a cell phone. Like, how did he arrange all of this? Dedicated emergency... What? Okay, hold on. Shoot, I forgot his voice. What was it?
That's right, sunshine.
Something deep like that, right?
The alarm was raised on one of our dedicated emergency lines. So we got here as fast as we could. Now, what's all this about, eh?
Oh, praise be, you're here at last.
Oh, did you call?
I was moments away from forfeiting my own life in my very own establishment.
This man has a gun. Just arrest him.
You would seem you have the upper hand.
Yeah. Perfect timing.
Right, you lot have got some explaining to do. I don't appreciate being bothered with some petty argy-bargy.
Argy-bargy? What?
Petty? Mr. Windibank very nearly met with his end.
Yeah, by his own gun as far as I can tell.
Sir, he was pointing a gun at Ryunosuke.
Oh dear. And the whole of Britain could meet with its end if I don't get to the bottom of the case I'm supposed to be working on.
Sir?
What? What on earth is the case, Inspector? This is important.
Spare no detail, Gregson.
Oh yeah, I might have said a little too much. No matter, it's nothing to do with you lot. Anyway, sir, you're gonna have to come with me down to the station.
But of course, Inspector.
Oh! Ah! He's getting away! Ah! I said it! Didn't I say? I said he was probably gonna escape. Then I said he probably has a gun. Damn! He had both. He did both, man. He had a gun and he escaped. All he had to do was twirl around, y'all, and he just ran out.
Get after him, lads. Whistle the beat officer, too. Sir!
Oh, this is to be continued with that guy. Hey, your food didn't fall on the floor. Lucky you.
There's been a spate of thefts at pawn shops round here recently. So we fitted emergency buttons underneath the counters for brokers to let us know when there's trouble.
Oh, okay. That's good. So that's how they came. That's pretty good. Good job, Mr. Windibank. Good job, police.
Oh, Inspector, I was very worried there for a while. Very worried indeed. Now then, Mr. Permanently in Mourning.
Oh, yes?
I'll be taking that whatever it is of McGilded's down to the yard, thank you very much. So hand it over.
Oh, yes, of course.
No, don't. Don't give it to him. It's mine, that is. Mine. Gina? No.
I'm sorry, miss, but anything belonging to McGilded has to be taken in as evidence now.
As evidence?
If the police demand something as evidence, my dear fellow, we have no choice but to capitulate. It's all yours, Inspector. Girl, get over it. It's not good, and it's not worth money to you anyway.
So we handed Mr. McGilded's disc over to Inspector Gregson, and were summarily turfed out of the shop and onto the street.
To be continued? Yeah. Perfect.
Perfect timing.
Alright. That was good. Okay. Whew. Excuse me. Alright, guys. That was a good episode. I'm happy because I figured a lot of stuff out. And I'm happy and looking forward to solving the mystery of McGilded stuff. So, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you're enjoying this. And until next time, have a nice day. Bye!